week, LeBron said he needed to focus more on, quote, mental fitness following his 2011 finals loss to the Mavericks. LeBron admitted that the level of scrutiny he was under took him out of his comfort zone, and he also lost his love for the game. So, Shannon, are you surprised by this?
A little, because the thing with an athlete is that they don't let you know about their insecurities. Skip, I think we've discussed the guy on this show several times back in the news, although we didn't talk about him today, that we think that he needs to go talk to someone.
Antonio Brown.
Correct. And for LeBron, you're talking about an apex athlete. You're talking about a guy that's at the heat, at the top of the mountain, to say, you know, there's some things that got to me. And especially, you know what's most, that I'm most surprised about, Skip? Because for the longest time, that was said about LeBron. Tremendous talent, can do it all, but he's not mentally tough. And for him to say, you know what, that 2011 season was the culmination of that. Everything came to a head, that I wasn't playing to like I know I can play, and the pressure, and it formed the perfect storm. And I needed to go talk. I needed to go, whether he vented or however he got his situation resolved, is that athletes don't, Skip, we don't like to admit that we have frailties. That's it in a nutshell. And me not being mentally tough? What? You don't know where I came from. You don't know, I mean, you talk about a guy that came from a single parent and that really had no dominant male figure in his home that we can, as coaches, and to get to where he got to, and basically he's learning to be a man, how to be a man as he's going through the process of himself. Not having someone that says, okay, LeBron, dad or grandpa say, hey, LeBron, this is how you do it, and go here. He's having to do it on his own. Michael Jordan had his dad, and then he had Coach Smith. So he had a parent, and then he had a coach that he had the utmost respect for. Well, LeBron James, like, I'm doing kind of going this thing on my own. But kudos to him, Skip. It takes a big man. It takes a big person to admit that I'm not in a place where I need to be able to function at my highest. Because I'm not sure I would have told that. Some things I just go and take to my grave, whatever you say.
So he said he'd lost his love, and this is after what I always said was the worst superstar meltdown I've ever seen on a big stage, because it was games 4, 5, and 6 of the finals in 2011.
And Skip, we're talking about a guy that's already had won two regular season MVPs. So we're talking about a guy that's already at the heat, at the top.
Yep. He had some issues at the end of his Cleveland run against, obviously, Orlando, and then against Boston the last go-around. And remember, Dan Gilbert was hard on him and even accused him publicly of quitting in that series. And there was the report that he needed to be sedated for the last couple of games of the Boston series because of a locker room issue that he was going through on a personal level. So I'm happy he talked about it, and I do think he came right out of that in 2012 against the still young Thunder, but LeBron was great in that finals, especially when they went home. He was great, and they just shut them down and and shut it out in, what was it, 5 games?
Yeah, it was 4-1.
5 games, and LeBron was the MVP, but he continued to struggle. It wasn't like he was completely fixed of that, because he did. I thought you said he played really well in the fourth quarter of that Game 6 in 2013, but he had 3 unforced error turnovers down the last 3 minutes of Game 6 that Ray Allen saved him, missed the last shot. LeBron did, and then Ray made it. And remember, in 2014, I still say they went home in the finals against my Spurs 1-1. They went back to Miami, and LeBron had 2 home games. And go check the tape of this. He wasn't himself. He wasn't great in those 2 games, and they lost both at home. Then they went back to San Antonio, and they ended up losing in 5 games by a record finals margin. Yeah,
and nobody had ever shot like what San Antonio, because I was just certain. I said, there's no way they can continue to shoot like this. And they continue to shoot like that. I mean, Patty Mills couldn't miss. Danny Green couldn't miss. Even Kawhi was making, nobody can miss from the 3. I was like, there's no way they can keep this going. But Skip, if you remember, when they were down 3-2, going back to the Garden, and they showed the picture, he had his hands on his knees, and he's looking side to side. I said, somebody in heap of trouble. Jenny, there's a calm. There's a hush over the stadium. There's a calm. You just know what's about to happen that we've never seen before.
That was with Dwayne. Yep.
45. And then he went back and finished it off in game 7. And I know we rolling. We good now.
You're good.
We'll come back.
So then the other most embarrassing moment to me in LeBron's career that he did not fix was 2018 Finals Game 1 at Oracle.
Man, stop, get out of here.
You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
You got to take the shot. You got Steph on you.
No.
And you're down 1. You just got to take the shot. You can't kick it to George Hill and hope he's going to make 2 free throws. You just can't do it.
Well, he actually, Clay did a great thing because he kicked it to George Hill, and George Hill was about to lay the ball up. And Clay snatched him out, which I got no problem with. And like you said, you forced him to go make the. I was like, ugh.
Then LeBron went and sat by himself. And
But what we gonna talk about? What we gonna do? What we gonna do about Swish? Swish was on them real cookies.
LeBron is doing something right now, and refreshing to hear him talk about it. I think that's the number one thing. It is refreshing. Whether you're an athlete or not, it's important.
Show lives. I mean,
we don't
dealing with him.
over there. We're going to talk about Baker Mayfield. Is he showing signs of maturity? You meditate. We'll be right back.
Download the app right now.